It's a historic first Super Bowl in Irish television for nearly 40 years this weekend, and we're delighted to be here at Media Row in Super Bowl 60's Moscone Centre, and delighted to be here with New Orleans kicker Charlie Smyth, fresh off a plane from Mayobridge. Charlie, how are you doing, man? What's going on?
I'm doing great, yeah. Got off the plane there about maybe an hour and a half ago and straight into it. So yeah, it's good to be here and good to see everybody again.
It's good to have you here at the pinnacle of the year. And first off, before we talk about that, you're an NFL fan outside of actually playing the sport.
Yeah.
You're proud of where you're from. How important is it to have the Super Bowl on Irish TV and on Virgin Media on Sunday night?
Yeah, it definitely is. It's very good. Good for everybody at home. Any NFL fan in Ireland to hear an Irish voice sort of covering the game will be pretty cool. So yeah, look, delighted for everybody that's made it happen. It just shows how big the market's gone this past couple of years, Michael. So yeah, really excited for everybody involved.
It's a big weekend of sport ahead in Virgin. Obviously Ireland against France in the Six Nations on Thursday night, and then Super Bowl 60 on Sunday. Wish Ireland the very, very best of luck. Big news dropping this week. You were at home for the news dropping. The New Orleans Saints are going to play in France. I'm imagining now your family must be buzzing, but how are you feeling? The potential to play a game internationally in the Stade de France?
Yeah, I suppose over around the league this past couple of years and then just getting involved myself as a player and coming through the international player pathway program. You're nearly jealous of fellas getting to go back closer to home in a way. You're getting to play, and look, I was hoping our day would come, and now it is. To Paris, I went to Disneyland plenty of times as a child, so this time hopefully it'll be a bit different, getting to play in front of 80,000 in the Stade de France.
I'm not sure the exact number, but it was obviously done up for the Olympics there a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Incredible stadium, and
it's
I think
unreal.
it's going to be.
I remember Johnny Saxon's drop goal winner in the Six Nations. So was that maybe 4 or 5 years ago?
I remember it well, and for the Saints, it's a big deal. The family, this means a lot to them, and sometimes people actually think, oh, we'll play a game here. This has been something in the years. I think it was 2 or 3 years in the making of actually getting this happening. So it's a big moment for the team as well.
Yeah, you did. And even I saw Mrs. Benson, our owner, in Paris there during the summer, and I think Miss Benson was there last year as well at some stage, and along with Demario Davis, our star linebacker. So they've been sort of making the connections, and I'm sure there's been a lot of work going on behind the scenes with the likes of Henry and everybody involved there, and just to make it happen, it's pretty cool. And I'm sure everybody in New Orleans is delighted, especially with our sort of French heritage, in the city, the French culture that's kind of stemmed, into what it is, and it's pretty cool.
With no Dublin game this year, something tells me there's going to be a strong Newry/Mayobridge/ anywhere in Ireland contingent flying over to it. Please God, I can't wait for it to happen, and best luck on that there. Let's touch on that just very quickly. Obviously, no NFL Dublin game this year. I think it's pretty obvious from what we heard it's going to come back eventually, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's exciting to see. I'm presuming you're like me and you want it back in 2027.
Oh yeah, big time, yeah. As I've said it before, I would love to get the chance to play in Dublin someday. There's a lot of stuff to happen before that, but even just this past year, seeing how much work that actually yourself and everybody else at home have put in to sort of growing the game, it was really cool to see the game in Dublin. So yeah, no doubt we'll be back, Michael.
It's been. Look, it's easy to forget about this, but we're at the end of the year now. This is the second Super Bowl that you've attended over the last couple of years. Please God, you get to play in one in a few years' time yourself, even next year. If you recap on the year that you've had, even from week 12, week 13, it's all happened so quickly.
Yeah.
It feels like a whirlwind, doesn't it? Talk us through how it's actually felt and meant to you.
Yeah, I think whenever I got home straight away from the season, it hadn't really set in my mind what had happened, probably because I was a little disappointed that we didn't finish out the year with a win, and I was just a couple of wee things that I would have liked to have had back, but I think I should be very proud of myself of how things have gone over this past even just 2 years, coming out of nowhere, and then just so grateful for the opportunity with the IPP and with everybody involved at home. It's just been such a whirlwind, and then you're working in the dark for 18 months, and then eventually your shot comes, and it's to actually get playing and get playing that Miami game and sort of it going well and sort of pushing on from there. It's just been such a whirlwind. The game winner against Carolina, I'll never forget it. And it was also the most confident I've ever been for a kick that I've had in any of the games I've had so far. So it was just been such a whirlwind, and a lot to sort of move on with and take these experiences and just keep getting better.
One thing that you've talked so well about, both on and off the camera, is your ability to maybe enjoy the moment the day after the game day and then focus the next day and really shut that off and keep going. But when you talk about that game winner against Carolina, when you're in that euphoric moment, how does that feel when you see the reaction from home, bars in Mayobridge, lads, ladies posting on social media? I think you put a post up and had like 30,000 likes. It feels like the whole of Ireland, both north and south, is behind you here. Like.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, it's the support from home has been incredible, and it like is nearly as it adds on. Like, I knew doing this whenever it initially blew up around the combine time that the support was going to be good, but I didn't know it would get to quite this level, and it nearly adds another reason to your why are you doing it. It's like I'm doing it to give more people at home sort of a reason to stay up on Sunday nights and cheer for one of their own to keep doing well, and I just know the opportunity that I've got. If I don't keep making the most of it, I'll live with regrets. So I just know that over this next coming season and pushing on from there, I'm going to try and make the most of this career, because it's it's a very volatile position. It's a very volatile career path, but you got to embrace it, right? So I'm just loving every second of it. I'm in it right now.
I'm conscious that we've a lot of like GAA, rugby, soccer fans watching this on Virgin for the Super Bowl. How hard is it to walk away from playing for Mayobridge, playing a bit of GAA? Like, do you miss it? Because like your clubs have some legends down through the years as well.
Yeah, we do. Benny, Mickey, Tom, some legends, and all the growing up, Mayobridge winning championships, and then you come back home and everybody's talking about it, and you're really like, oh, I'd love to.
Even down as well, as well.
Yeah, even with down too, you have the wee urge just to go up and kick a bag of Gaelic balls again, but then I think it was like a record downpour of rain in January this year of all time in Ireland, so there was no chance I was getting to do that. But you just get you get the wee urge every now and then. But no, I'm happy out, Michael. So yeah, it's look, you want to be involved, and that's why I like coming home, is to be able to have the crack with the boys again about it and just be able to talk about normal stuff again.
And the great thing as well is with GA, it's something you can come back into, and the community is always there as well, and you can really sense that from your local club as well, which is great as well. So
yeah, no, Mayobridge have been great now.
You've been you were on the road with us for a few weeks, or for a few nights over the last couple of weeks. Were you shocked at the level of support that you received in terms of everybody wanted to meet you, to talk to you? To say it, like you were sitting meeting everybody and chatting away. Like, did it blow you away, or did it maybe hit you afterwards? God, this is amazing.
Yeah,
it's a big shift even over the last couple of years.
Okay, look, it was amazing. Just having people just coming up to you and just seeing their faces, a young child's face when they get to meet you, and their parents are saying that's so and so, and it's a pretty cool feeling. I'm not gonna lie. I probably knew after all the social media sort of reaction that it was, you're coming home. It might have been different this time, and it is different, but that's just out of just people being nice and sort of realising what you're doing, and you're getting the kick in front of big crowds and many millions watching you on TV. So it's a really cool feeling. But yeah, I'm just so grateful for it all. So yeah.
What's the one thing you love most about being home over January?
Just the cracking with mates. Literally, that's the biggest thing. Obviously, getting to see my family is grandparents who can't get out to the games, and aunts and uncles and cousins, and getting to see them. But if I was to really narrow it down, where you can just solely just have the crack with your mates, it's just there's something different about that, and just that's the biggest thing I love about being home, and just getting to be around everybody, the home familiar surroundings again. It's just that's the biggest thing, Michael.
Because it hits me when I'm over here. Like, we're currently 8 hours from Ireland, time difference. I do this week. I feel very far away from home. Do you find that hard at all? Anytime, or are you very set in, you're focused, and you're happy to be there?
No, you do. Like there is times where I've said this before, but you do feel a bit lonely and a bit out of touch. But then you remind yourself what you're doing. You're on to be a kicker in the NFL, and that quickly shuts that out. So it does. And even when I wasn't the starter, you're reminding yourself of what you're working towards, and it was bigger than being maybe a small bit homesick, or not as comfortable in surroundings. But look, my teammates have been great as well. Like, everyone in the Saints building has been unbelievable. Whenever I initially got there, the way people in the building went out of their way to settle me in, and just get it, the logistics sorted, to like driving license, all that sort of stuff, bank accounts, all that sort of stuff, and they've been brilliant, and then just I feel like my teammates like me and I like them back, so it's definitely a cool feeling being with them now.
I'll tell you what's cool, this first Super Bowl on free TV in such a long time in Ireland. So many kids watching this tonight. knowing people like yourself. I know you got the surprise some for the NFL flag, and congrats to St. Marnix and their.
I saw them in the airport there as a flight.
No, you did.
I did, yeah. I was chatting to a load of them, yeah. So they did brilliant. They beat Germany there.
They beat Germany, and I think it was the first win ever for an NFL flag team, so congrats to them from Ireland. Look, we have a new generation watching this. Like, there almost is maybe a sense of responsibility there, but like, you are at the forefront. I wouldn't just say in Ireland, but in the NFL UK and Ireland. You know, what advice would you have for any kids watching this tonight going, I want to be the next Charlie Smyth, or I'd love to play in the NFL, or I'd love to play at a Super Bowl someday?
Yeah, the advice I would have is to work hard and sort of don't let anybody tell you can't do anything, you know. Like, you know, really, like, I spent my years just kicking as a teenager and just honing that sort of technique that allowed me whenever I was 18 or 19, when I grew a little, that I had the power to kick a gilt ball pretty far. And then along with the interest I had in the NFL, I was like, well, I do believe this can marry over. And it's just been a result of a lot of hard work, a lot of really good opportunities, you know, a bit of luck involved, meeting the right people at the right time. So grateful to everybody involved with the NFL UK and Ireland and leader kicking, and you know, everybody who's sort of pushed it at home. And the biggest thing is, you have to work hard. It doesn't come easy. It was hours and hours and hours at Mayobridge pitch that kind of set me up for this, Michael. So that's the biggest thing. It doesn't just happen, you know. Like, I think there's a saying, the definition of luck is whenever preparation meets opportunity, and I kind of feel like luck is at the forefront of what I've had, but it's been preparation along with performing when I needed to, when the opportunity came up. So that's the biggest thing, you know.
Well, just finally, Charlie, Super Bowl on Sunday, Super Bowl 60, you witnessed, it's probably fair to say it was a one-sided affair last year between the Eagles and the Chiefs. In your, I guess, now adopted hometown city of New Orleans, a bit different this year, a smaller stadium in Levi's. What do you think of this game? NFC champion Seahawks going up against the AFC champion. They're back. I know you watched them when you were growing up, the New England Patriots. Yeah. I know the Seahawks are favourites, but it's very hard to call this game. What's your thoughts as we look ahead to this game?
Yeah, like, I've thinking all along and thinking how strong the Seahawks have performed in the latter part of the season, and we played against both teams this year, and you know, both teams are really, really good. There's just something as well, like, I've just thought about it. It's like, you can't write the Patriots off with Vrabel at the helm. Like, you just can't write them off. And you know, it's different weather, it's warm weather, and it's just going to be completely different games than what the Patriots faced against the Broncos, and even against the Texans. Like, it was really tough weather as well. So you never know, like, how that's going to change the game. Is it going to be higher scoring because of that? You know, is it going to affect all three phases that wee bit more, where the offense might have the edge? So it's going to be a really hard game to call, but I think the Seahawks are just so strong. I think all three phases, they've just outshone everybody in the league this year, especially on defense and special teams. So look, we'll see what happens, but I think it's going to be a great game.
Well, look, thank you for what you're continuing to do. All the best in this off season and towards next year. I'm sure we'll talk at some point again in the future, Charlie, no doubt.
Probably later on.
I'll tell you one thing, enjoy the game, and thank you for being a part of this historic broadcast, because I think a lot of us have waited for it for a long time. So Charlie, thank you very much, man.
No, thank you, Michael. I'm looking forward to joining you on Sunday.